Hi guys, this is Frederick Gray, in case you didn't know, and I'm the guy that started this Father-Daughter Retreat, the Fathers of Faith and Daughters of Excellence Retreat. And I'm making this video to help you understand what's at store if you come to the retreat and why we're doing it, why people come, and why it's life-changing. And that's the feedback we get every year on that it is life-changing, no matter what your relationship is with your dad and daughter relationship. Whether it's outstanding or whether it's not so good, it always ends up being better at the end of the retreat. But that's what the feedback we get universally. So, and we also have some new changes. Based on feedback we've been given, we have some new changes, some new additions that we're adding to the retreat, so I want to let you know a little bit about it. First of all, why am I doing it? Well, long story short, I went to public school, and when I was in high school, I had a number of female friends. And I would listen to them talk about their lives and about their relationships and all this. And you know what I realized? I started noticing that there was a strong desire for approval or for love or attention from these girls' dads. And some of the girls who made the most unhealthy choices in relationships and in other things had challenging relationships with their dads where they wanted more. And I just found some of these girls who were very confident and had respect for themselves and high standards. I saw them with a very good relationship with their dad. Obviously, this isn't universally always the case, but it was a trend. So I became a Christian when I was 21, didn't go to college till I was 22, and I'm going to a college where there's lots of Christians, and I realize these Christian girls are having the same issues that with the girls I went to high school with. Their relationship with their dad really affects them in positive, empowering ways or in disempowering ways, or in ways where they find themselves looking for more in other things. So anyway, long story short, that impacted me. And when I had my first child, my daughter, Noelani, when she was born, so I used to help my wife get some sleep, and I'd always walk my daughter to sleep. And if she woke up in the middle of the night, I'd always walk her back to sleep. And that was my gift to Heather, my wife. But while I would do that, I would pray all the time. I'd pray for my daughter, I'd pray for Heather and I would ask God these questions, and I would just think, just wonder. And something happened that blew me away. My wife's mom and her got into an argument one day when her mom was visiting us. And the argument was about whether or not they ever spent family time studying the Bible. Family worship time, or you could call it devotion time, whatever you call it. Her mom said we did it all the time. And Heather said, I don't remember ever doing it. And it was a pretty intense fight. I mean, they weren't yelling, but they got into it. And they were very obstinate in what they were saying. Well, over the next day or two, we realized they both were right. They started out doing that, but once my wife started going to school, it was harder to find the time to do that kind of thing. So, and that's why she didn't remember it. So I thought to myself, it really happened, and my wife, Heather, forgot about it. So what makes people remember things? And I'm doing this while I'm walking my daughter to sleep. I'm thinking, what makes people remember things? And I thought to myself, what if I'm the best dad ever half the days of my daughter's life? And the other half of her life, I'm a deadbeat dad. And she only remembers the days I'm a deadbeat dad. I mean, that's not what I want. Because the good days were there, she just doesn't remember it. So I thought to myself, well, how do I infuse my love within my daughter's heart and soul, mind, so that even if I make mistakes, she knows that I still love her, and that love overpowers whatever dumb things I might do. So I thought, well, what makes people remember things? And it hit me. Intensity. Intensity makes people remember things. So that's why we remember birthday parties and weddings and funerals, graduations, births, childbirth. Those are intense moments, and those are things that we never forget. Sometimes getting a raise or getting a job, that's what we remember. So I thought, well, how do we create intensity? How do we create intensity? Well, there's one way to create intensity I don't want to overlook, and that is to do something daily, all the time. There becomes an intensity of habit, an intensity of consistency. And I just, I just didn't have confidence that I was just going to be consistent in my life. I thought there's going to be days when I stumble, there's going to be days when I make mistakes, get distracted, I'm out of town for work, or what have you. And so maybe I'm sick, and I just wanted more. And so I thought to myself, well, what if so I thought about this for a while. Then later on, my wife and I were talking when my daughter was older about this very concept. And we thought, what if we have a dinner where I take her out and devote my time to her? That's a great thing. And many dads do that with their kids. Many moms do that with their kids. It's a dynamite thing to do. So then we were just talking. I was actually sick and I was in bed for about a week. And I had cat scratch fever actually. I got bitten by my cat when I was stepping on her tail, and we were playing loud music so I didn't hear her. And she bit me on the ankle and I got cat scratch fever. It messed me up. So anyway, we're talking, and she's a big thinker and she's a big time planner. I'm a big dreamer. And I think it was her that actually said, what if we kept taking it from a dinner to more and more things, and we thought, what if we do a retreat for dads and daughters? And that's where this came from. And every year we've done it. We haven't done it every year because sometimes it just isn't a good fit for us for whatever reason, and we need to just retreat as a family. So, and just like we're doing it this year, I don't know if we're going to do it in 2019. I like to think that we are, but let me just tell you, if I need to retreat and pull back to my family and for whatever we need, that's what I've got to do. And so I don't know when I'm going to do this again, but I will tell you this. Every year we've gotten feedback. We've always implemented the feedback, and I just want to give you some idea on what this really is. Hey, buddy. So, in a nutshell, this is 2 days on this retreat. It's a Friday and Saturday, September 7th and 8th, in Safety Harbor Resort and Spa in Tampa Bay, Florida. And the first day is formal. The second day is casual. So whether your daughters are casual and like to play games, or whether they're formal, like to dress up and go to banquets, they will get their fix. And they, the first day, let me tell you this first. If you're familiar with the 5 Love Languages book by Gary Chapman, all 5 love languages are addressed by the way you pour your love as a dad into your daughter in this event. Also, all 5 of her senses will be affected by the way you pour your love into her in this event. And so we have professional wedding photographers come and take pictures for the whole event. So you'll have stills, like posed stills at the beginning, but you'll also have photographic journalism pictures taken of the whole event, and you get those pictures free. These wedding photographers charge $3,000 for a wedding, or more, $3,000 or more for a wedding, and so they're world class. They're great, and so they're going to be there. And so you pose for those formal pictures, and then you wait in line to go to the banquet on Friday night. And you're dressed up, and you walk in with each daughter individually. If you have 5 daughters, you're coming in 5 times. And every daughter walks in with her arm on your arm, and we have people in there clapping. Everyone's going to clap for you when you walk in, just like a wedding reception. And when you walk in, then you sit down at your table, and it's... So anyway, there's beautiful flowers there at the table. So everyone's in, you have this great meal. It's a very great meal. This is the top 20 historic resort in the country, Safety Harbor Resort and Spa. And there's no 2 rooms are identical, by the way. This is a very historic and great place. So we have speakers at the banquet. We also have a giveaway, a bracelet ceremony. The bracelets are already decked up. You come up on stage. I'll spare you the details, but I will tell you this. It's a tearjerker. And we open up the boxes of well, I'll just say this. It's a together activity, and it's dynamite. And after the bracelet ceremony and the speakers, and we have food and dessert, there's also time to walk along the beach. There's time to spend time alone or with others if you want. And And this is where the magic happens, because the dads will get nice stationery before the event, and they write letters to their daughters from their heart about what they love about them, what they're thankful for to God about them. And so in the hotel, when the dads read the daughters those letters, that's where the magic happens. It's amazing. And I've had guys tell me on Friday night that their daughters won't talk to them, they won't hug them, and then the next morning they're waiting in line for the breakfast buffet with their arms around their dad, just hugging them like this. Or I see changes, and I hear about this. That's what we want. We want the dads and daughters to give their hearts to each other to the glory of God. Saturday's casual. We're bringing back Coach Rick. Coach Rick is dynamite. He and his staff facilitated some games. We have some pictures on the site. You can see some of these games. It was such a blast. It added a lot. It catapulted the retreat to a new dimension in terms of unforgettability. But here, one of the things that we were requested that we kept getting requests for is we've always only had men speaking. We had a request for some females to speak to the daughters. And that's what we're doing this year. We are bringing in Girl Defined. Kristen and Bethany with Girl Defined. You can go to their website, girldefined.com. They are dynamite. And they're so passionate about encouraging girls to walk in purity and joy, and to just be bright lights, and not to let the culture dictate how they dress or how they think or how they engage in relationships. But they really encourage girls to just be pure-hearted and full of joy, and that you'll see. And they're just amazing. You may already know who they are. And so so they're speaking directly to the daughters. They're not really going to be they're not speaking to the dads, they're speaking to the daughters, because, we want to maintain standards of biblical propriety and all that kind of thing. And so they're just speaking to the daughters. And I don't know about you. This may be the kind of thing you want to do, maybe it's not. But I'll tell you what, it's unforgettable. And everybody who comes is glad they came. And if you have any questions, you can email me, or and we'll get back to you. But you can click on registration if you want to sign up. You have until August 17th to sign up. But and that's the absolute deadline to sign up. But think about whether or not this is something that you would regret doing or you'd regret not doing. That's how I like to make choices that are big and meaningful. So if you would regret, think about not coming, and best and worst cases of that, of not coming. And if you would regret coming, if you would regret staying home more, or best and worst case scenarios of you coming, and if you would regret coming more. That's one way to think about it. What would you regret more as time goes on? You can never, ever get the opportunity to create this kind of event with other people ever again this year. Because, at least to my knowledge, there is no other event like this. They're very hard to put on, and they take a lot of work, and that's why that people don't do them. But we don't even make any money on this. We just charge what it costs. But we're passionate about doing it. I have 3 daughters. I've had too many female friends. I have a wife, and I know how important this is. As a matter of fact, whenever we get new people that attend, roughly half the dads every single year that are new, about half of them tell me their wife was the one who impressed upon them why they needed to come. And so this is just me to you, giving you my thoughts, my 2 cents about why this is life-changing. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is. But, and sometimes we have scholarships. If you're interested in helping provide scholarships, let me know. Because there's some people who are able to come, or want to be able to come, or don't have a daughter, but they want to help somebody go. Let me know, because almost every year we've had scholarships, and that's helped people attend that wouldn't otherwise be able to come. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. But this is from me to you. I love you for even watching this video. I appreciate you spending the time, but Fathers of Faith, Daughters of Excellence 2018 retreat. This is something that if you're really committed and you have the ability and the means and the time to come, you need to be here. You won't regret it. I promise you that. So hope to see you there. Safety Harbor, Tampa Bay, Florida, September 7th and 8th, 2018. Thanks, guys.